Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Helen Noble, creator of Swan Song and celebrant of Surrey. Please hit the bell and subscribe for weekly doses of ceremonial tips, tricks and goodness. This week I'm talking confetti. So this week, confetti. What's it all about? Originally, actually, what it was all about was the same reason brides had bouquets. It's also the same reason why people would get married in June. And it goes back to early days before, Thames Water, when we had baths anytime we liked, showers when the urge took us. People had their annual baths on May Day, and in June you got married because you smelt your freshest after the May bank holiday. You smelt your freshest, you had the bouquet to just give an extra bit of scent, and at the end of the wedding they would shower you with love and fresh petals that smelt of sweet beauty. So that is why originally confetti and a wedding bouquet started, because it kept up the nice smells for the bride and groom. Excuse me. Roll on, 500 years. It's just a nice thing to do. It symbolises showering you with love. Now, when to do it, why you might not be able to do it, why you need to ask the venues if they let you do it. Yes, some venues say no. So let's start there, because things can only get better. So why might they say no? They say no because it can look messy. Therefore, it needs tidying up. Therefore, that needs manpower. And therefore, that needs a rota, that needs time managing, and that ultimately is a charge back to you. The tricky ones to pick up are like the paper ones, but no one really uses those anymore, so forget the paper ones. The next one up is the dried flowers. Dried flower petals are actually quite tiny, and you can get a nice big handful and throw it, and you get a shower of lots of little bits of petal. It's very fine, it's quite fine, and therefore it's hard to pick up. So venues don't like it, especially if the venue is a very popular, busy wedding venue. You might be getting married on a Saturday, but there would have been a wedding on the Friday, and there might be a wedding on the Sunday. And therefore, you might not want to actually have your wedding on someone else's confetti, because it shows you there's been a wedding before, and then you suddenly don't feel so special. And the Sunday people might not want your Saturday leftovers. So I can see it from that point of view. But from a bride's point of view, it's quite disappointing. You're like, no, I want confetti. I want confetti. So why might a venue say yes? They might say yes if you do it inside, because you can just sweep it up. And they might be able to sweep it up if the floor is like big flank stones and it's just going to be tidy up time. They might not let you do it inside. If it's very old wooden floors, it can fall down the cracks. It might be stonework that's kind of cobbly. Everyone wants an easy life, including the venues, and they might be like, it's just a hassle. In which case, if you've got the budget, you might want to say to them, how much of a hassle? Like 1 hour? Can we just pay for an extra hour for tidy up time? In which case they might say, yeah, right then. In which case, go for it. They might say also yes if you pay for tidy up time. But if you do natural undried petals, so they're big rose petals, and they are so easy to sweep up. They're so easy to even clean up outside because they're big and you can see them, and it's not in tiny little dried bits that actually looks like litter overnight. The next morning just looks messy. So if you want, assume you want confetti, you want to ask your venue, A, can we have confetti? B, what are the restrictions? And C, if either of those have been a no, how do we make it a yes? Can we pay for an hour tidy up time? or like 2 people doing it for half an hour, which would equate to an hour. Can we use natural rose petals? Can we do it inside? Is there a designated area, perhaps outside? How do we get the no to a yes? So I would say arm yourself with the expectation of you might be able to make it happen. Try and find out how to make it happen. Big natural rose petals will be more of a yes. Outside will probably be more of a yes. Inside will be more of a yes, especially if you offer, how do we make that work? Is that an extra hour of manpower? How do we get to say yes? But I would definitely say it is a question you need to ask your venues. Then when you're wedding planning and you're finding out, what to get and things to order, with natural rose petals, ask if your florist can add it onto their job. Obviously, there'll be a cost for it, but add it onto their job. Or, source it other ways. From a sustainable point of view, in case you were thinking, do you know what, I'm just going to go to the petrol station, buy a load of roses, put them on a baking tray, put them in the oven, and just dry them whole, nice and big, nice and cheaply. Yes, that is an option, but they are the worst for the environment. Supermarket flowers have the biggest carbon footprint. Their air miles are ridiculous. So please, just for a moment, think wedding, sustainable planet. Where's the balance? So you might come across those hurdles. You might have solved their problems, your problems, or the issues that have come across so that you don't have a problem. But if you have hit a wall of no, 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 how can you then get that lovely confetti shot or just get showered with love in a different way? Some people might think rice. Personally, that just reminds me of my theatre days when Rocky Horror Picture Show was there and people would just bring rice and throw it. Be like, nah, my theatre, I've got so much hoovering to do now. So I don't tend to recommend rice. Bubbles look great. However, I would say maybe get the little kids on guns, bubble guns, and they can be interdispersed between the grown-ups to shoot the bubble guns. The reason I say that is because part of the lovely experience of going down a confetti tunnel or being showered with confetti is that either people are whooping, like going woo, 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 and throwing confetti over you. Obviously they can't clap because they're throwing confetti, so you get a nice big cheer, woo, doof. And then when their hands are empty, they can clap and cheer you on as you carry on down the tunnel. So bubbles, great idea, look brilliant, but get the kids on the guns in between the big ones so that you get a cheer and noise and a clap. Because bubbles, beautiful as they are, completely kill the energy because nobody can talk or cheer because you're all going, and nobody can clap because you're also going with one hand. So you suddenly find yourself in a very picturesque but silent walk. It's very weird, but it is worth doing if you can do it properly and you can get people talking. But normally I'm there and I'm cheering on for everybody, so it works all well. The other thing you can use are ribbons. Now, this looks wicked. There is no tidy up time. You can still cheer and shout and you can clap, and it's really colourful and it's sustainable, so it does tick lots of boxes. So what you would do, you would get reams of ribbon rolled up into a coil. They would hold it as if they were going to hold a handful of confetti. They would throw it, but this is the important bit, they don't let go. They hold on to it. If they let go, they let go. But you don't want to get pelted by a round of ribbon. They would hold it. Usually I say, tie it around your little finger. And then they go, and it unravels. And then you get this kind of stream effect. It looks wicked, like a streaming effect as you walk down. You don't get any bits and pieces in your dress, down your top, down your back, caught in your hair. There's literally no tidy up time, even on yourself as the bride or the groom. because it doesn't like stick, because all your mates are still holding it. So actually ribbons are a bit of a winner. It's win, 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 win all round. It might be the ideal is natural rose petals, Danny come, it's all good. But if you're looking for alternative, I thoroughly recommend ribbons. No tidy up time, you get lots of noise, it looks wicked, and everyone grins. It's a win-win. So that's little tips and tricks and useful things for your ceremony from me this week. Confetti, have a little think about it. There's more to think about than you thought you needed to do. So there you go. Take care. Come find me on Instagram @Celebrant of Surrey.